Were you saying something?
Yes, I was saying good evening to you.
Oh, yeah. How are you? How was your day?
I'm doing fine. How are you doing? How's your day?
I just got back from work, but I'm okay.
Wow.
Yeah. Hope you're fine. Hello, Ebube. I know that's your name. I'm seeing you on YouTube. Welcome. How are you? How was your day? Christiana, good evening. Welcome. How are you? And how was your day? All right. So for today, right? I really don't want us to spend a lot of time. I want us to um come for the class, do what we need to do, and then everybody goes back to their daily activity, because I believe that, like myself, some of us actually went to work and we just got back. I was sharing with Sekibo that I just got back from work. I think before Christiana and Ebube joined the call, right? So I know it must have been a very long day for all of us, but notwithstanding, this is what we are made for. I want more persons to join before I make the introduction of what we're going to be doing today. But just to give us a little heads up, yesterday I told us that today is going to. Christiana, sorry, you said the volume here doesn't like you. I'm so sorry. Sorry, please. Oh, is it only Christiana that is having this issue? Is anybody else having um speaker issue? Like, can you hear me? Right? Somebody in that is streaming inside StreamYard, can you just type in the chat box that my voice is okay? Right? That my voice is okay and the volume is loud enough, or is it a general problem? Please, somebody should help us so that we can start. Okay, you can hear me. Thank you, Sekibo. Yes, you can hear me clearly. Oh, thank you. Loud and clear. Thank you very much. So, Christiana, I don't know what you did to stream here though, but then I'm not, it's not me. Sorry. I'm so sorry about that, right? So, good evening. I think more persons joined us. I just noticed Delight joined the call. Olufemi joined the call. Patience joined the call. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Right? Oh, gentleman. No, it's only one man. Jesus. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you all had a great day. Hope your day was fine. Hope you were able to achieve your goals. And even as the year is slowly winding out, right? I hope that you can sit back and look at 2024 and said, of a truth, it's been a good year. For me, it has been a good year because I grew, I pushed myself beyond the limits, and I'm super proud of that, right? And I'm sure, irrespective of our different challenges, I mean, a lot of us can look back to the year and say, truly, we did our best. So today is not about me talking. Like I was saying before, I had to greet most of the persons that joined. Um, I told us yesterday, yes, good evening, Mr. Olufemi. Thank you very much. Good evening. So I told us yesterday that today's class is going to be a practical class, right? And then today I'm going to mute my mic and go backstage. I know when you're joining StreamYard, they'll say you're backstage. It's only the host that can see you, right? Today I'm going to go backstage and you guys are going to be the teachers, right? So without no further ados, I'm going to share my screen so that we can see what we're doing today. So I hope if you are eating, please swallow your food fast, so because I can call you. I can call you at any time, right? So let me share my screen. I have to come back and where is that screen? Okay, yes, at the stage. Yes, so this is what we are doing today. Today is a practical test on topics covered. All right. So how this is going to work is that for those on YouTube, right? If you're on YouTube, please comment with your name so that I know the people on YouTube, right? If you're streaming via YouTube, please comment your name. What we're going to do is when I want to call the persons on YouTube, you have to come to StreamYard so that you can talk, because everybody's going to talk today. Today's a practical test, right? I didn't want to tell us because you are learning communication, and yesterday we dealt on impromptu communication apparently. So I'm going to go to the next slide and show us. I know we know the topics we've covered, But these are the topics we've covered so far. So for day one, we looked at overview of communication as a critical soft skill in tech. Day two, we looked at understanding your audience. Day three, we talked on active listening. Day four and five, which was day before yesterday and yesterday, but we merged it into yesterday because of the technical issue that we experienced. We looked at non-verbal communication, building confidence in communication. So we had two classes merged together yesterday, right? Making it five classes that we've had so far, and today is the sixth class, right? Today, see, better restart this thing though, because today is going to be dangerous. So today is the sixth class, right? And for us, we are about measuring impact. Do you understand? We are about measuring impact. It's not just enough to, okay, people that are streaming from YouTube. I have Christiana, okay, Monisola, Aye, Joto. I'm so sorry. Please don't murder me. I'm so sorry for not pronouncing your name very well. Ebubechukwu Osi Uzoekwe, right? Ifeoluwa Israel Oriola, very good. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much to the people on YouTube. I think for the people inside StreamYard, I can see your names, right? So I'm not going to waste too much time talking today. I'm going to call each and every one of us. I don't want to say you will choose a topic, but then because it's impromptu, I will just make sure that I give us the liberty of choosing a topic, right? But we have to exhaust all the topics before somebody can choose that topic again. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say, but what I'm trying to say is this. Let me say, for instance, Mr. Olufemi wants to talk about the overview of communication as a critical soft skill in tech, right? Somebody else cannot talk about this thing, this number one, or this day one, until we exhaust up till day five, right? The only time somebody can talk about something else or something that somebody has already talked about is when every topic in the 5 days has been exhausted. So the reason why I'm doing this and giving us this liberty, okay, I'm seeing Okoy, I mean Oki, Abi Mola, welcome. Thank you so much for joining in. Right. So the only reason I'm giving us this liberty of choosing our topic is because it's an impromptu class. So I don't want to give you something that you struggle with. However, please, I want a detailed presentation. So there's going to be a stopwatch. Unfortunately, I can't project my stopwatch. I'm going to be using the stopwatch on my phone, right? In 5 minutes, each person is going to present on a topic. So you choose a topic and you start presenting on that topic, right? And now, one of the things I want us to ensure is that you give us facts, key points. And the reason why I said key points is that somebody is going to be your judge. I'm not going to be the judge. Someone is going to score you, apparently. And the person that has the highest score is going to be featured on our communicator for the week post, right? So there's this thing we're doing, top communicators for the week. It is a way of gingering all of us. Before the end of week 2, we're still going to have another test. But for this week, we don't just want to come and post people that have been coming to class as top communicators of the week. It doesn't drive home the essence of what we are doing, right? So for us to be able to measure and truly award people that are deserving, people who have put in the effort in, practicing everything that we've taught, your fellow student is going to score you, right? So with no further ado, so am I going to call first, Seth? Let me see somebody that I've not called in recent times. Yes, Ebube, I can see you are streaming from YouTube. Please, can you enter the studio? Like, go through StreamYard. The link to StreamYard Studio is here, right? I beg you to enter StreamYard so that I can add you to the stage and you can present. You have 5 minutes to choose a topic of your choice, right? So please, get into the studio, unmute yourself, and start presenting. But Ebube, can you hear me? Confirm in on YouTube that you can hear me first. Confirm that you can hear me so that I know that you can hear me, please. They've said test now. Nobody wants to confirm again. You people must confirm. Um, Christiana, please help me confirm that you people can hear me on YouTube. Okay, but then you guys are not staying in the same house, so her network might even be bad. But Ebube, can you hear me? In all honesty, in all honesty, can you hear me? Ah, I've not gotten any feedback from her yet. Well, okay. Please, this is my first. How come is this your first class? Move. Okay, join enter StreamYard, introduce yourself, tell us your name, tell us who you are. Just talk to us, right? Do freestyle. Don't choose a topic from here. Since today is your first class, but this test, nobody's going to run away from it. Okay, thank you for confirming that you can hear me. At least you have integrity. So use the link on WhatsApp, right? And join the studio. I'm giving you 5 minutes to do all of this. Let me call somebody else so that you can, will I say, so that you can prep yourself? No, join the studio. We are waiting for you, right? Because these things are the things you experience in a professional setting. Nobody gives you time to prepare. I know we talked about this thing yesterday, and today I decided to practicalize it, right? So please, there are no excuses. Join the studio. I need to see you in the studio, Ebube. Please, I need to see you in the studio as soon as possible so that we can hear from you. We need to just hear you speak, right? Okay, even if you're not going to teach us something on communication based on today is your first class, tell us why you joined the course. Tell us the motivation behind joining the course, right? Give us a broad overview of what it used to look like for you, what communication used to look like for you, your struggles. Just help us, tell us a story. Yes, let me just put it that way. Tell us a story about your journey as a professional. Please, Ebube, I need you to be in StreamYard so that I can add you to the stage. We don't have time. If you don't join in like 2 minutes, I'm going to call somebody else, and that's going to be it, right? Because I mean, this is a class. When you go to university, you write tests, and most times they don't tell you that you have a test, right? And then the lecturer is not going to say because you're not coming for class that his test is not going to hold, because he's been teaching, right? The reasons why you're not in class is not really the lecturer's problem. And sometimes it can be network. Oh, thank you very much, nice girl, I've seen you in the studio. Why is this saying that you need to connect your mic and camera before I can add you? Is it a network issue, or you don't know how to unmute your mic? Please give me feedback, right, so I can know how to help you. I know that everybody, other people now will be trying to prep. We are trying to prep. Okay, okay, so I think I can add you to stage. um so Ebube, you are on stage, and I think you can hear me, right? Can you hear me? Unmute yourself, please. Let me know that you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you. Good evening, coach.
Evening, evening, how are you
Can
doing?
you hear me?
So I can hear you loud and clear. Yes, I can hear you. So you can hear me. I can hear you.
Okay.
Remember what I said you're going to do? Since you said today is your first class, of which I'm not really impressed, because we've had 5 classes and today is your first class, meaning that you've missed 5 days. It's not encouraging, right? The whole idea of putting together this course and it's for 2 weeks is to truly help professionals thrive, right? So welcome anyway. Since today is your first class, it not, doesn't mean that you're not going to do a test for us. So I want you to tell us a story, not like you're going to start saying story, story, story. No. What I mean is you're going to tell us your professional background, why you decided to join this course, right? And what you're hoping to achieve. I just want you to do a presentation about yourself, right? And give us your
Okay.
professional background, what you do professionally, why you decided to join this class, and how you hope to be impacted by this course, or what you hope to achieve. So you have 5 minutes, so I can call somebody else. I'm going to mute myself now. The stage is yours.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. My name is Osizekwe Vivechuku. I'm a pharmacy student, University of Port Harcourt, and I'm also a product designer. Although I just started my journey into tech in July of this year. That's like 5 months back, and I've made much progress to my own understanding. Though I'm still learning, and I'll still continue to learn because this product design world is like the substance is continuous. You can't say that you have stopped learning or anything like that. And I'm very sorry. I want to apologize that I've not been attending class because throughout last week I've been super busy, and each time I want to like enter from this stream yard, I don't know, it keeps like telling me that the studio is full and all of that. So today I had the time, I was ready, and I know so that it was going to stream on YouTube. That's why I decided to join from YouTube instead of coming to stream that. So that's pretty much about me. And okay, yes, I joined this um communicators class because I want to learn how to effectively communicate, how to pitch myself to jobs, to potential clients and stakeholders in the long run of my career as a product designer. Mhm.
Okay, thank you very much. Well done. So I have a few questions for you, right? The first question is, what is your concept of being busy as a professional on training, right? Explain to us the concept of being busy. Give us an overview of what your schedule looks like so that we can better understand why you've missed 5 days, right? And I'm not trying to put you on the spotlight, but the truth is, for me to actually dedicate my time to do this, it means that I saw a problem in the technological space. I saw a problem with professionals and I decided to solve the problem, right? And to be honest with
Hello,
you,
can you
I
hear
just
me?
came back from, I can hear you.
Hello,
Like, I can hear you loud and clear. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, God. Sorry, what did you ask?
I said, give us or give me a concept, like explain the concept of being busy, because that was the one thing I picked out from your presentation. You said you've been busy
Oh,
and you've not been able to attend the classes. And I understand the part of the stream yard, which is not your fault, right? It's not your fault. That one I can totally excuse you for that. But the part where you mentioned about being busy, I need like an overview of what your schedule looks like, right? And I mean it like, when I say overview, I mean like in detail. What does it look like from your end so that I can better understand why for a class that is just 2 weeks, which is 14 days, you've missed 5 days. And it's hurting me, to be honest, because at the end of the day, this is not a come and collect certificate class. It is that people can actually look at their growth process and mention the Law Academy from the depth of their heart, that we truly impacted them, right? And they truly learned something. So please, in as much as we're going to make the video recordings available, I also want to understand what it feels like from your end when you say you've been busy. All right. So tell me, what does it look like at your end being busy?
okay, okay. When I mentioned being busy, I've been busy like the whole of last week because we have like a family function. We have a burial that we have been planning, and it's this Friday. And I'm the one handling like sewing the clothes and all because I'm also into fashion designing. So I've been sewing clothes, my siblings' clothes, and my mom's clothes. Those ones. And there's been a lot. We have been going to markets, doing a lot of things, and throughout last week, I don't even think I slept nothing less than 12 midnight or past 12 because of the whole running about and everything. That's what I meant by being busy. But this week will be a little bit free, though I'm not. But I'll be ready. I'll be ready for the rest of the class this week.
Okay, so I want
Hello,
you
ma.
to judge yourself now. I can hear
Ma,
you. I want you to judge yourself now. Eh?
it's connected.
Do you think you want to graduate? Do you think we should
Sorry, can you hear
graduate
me?
you? I can hear you. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, so we've covered the core foundations
I can hear
of
you.
what the whole. Okay, we've covered the core foundations of what the class is about. If today was the last day of this course, would you want us to graduate you?
No.
No. Thank you. Oh. It's you that answered it, though. Right? The truth is this. I always want people to take something out of what we offer, right? I was having a conversation with
Yes.
someone and I said that this class is totally free. everything plus certificate. And the person was like, you're a Christian, oh. People would put up a free class and ask you to pay for the certificate. But that's not the whole idea. The whole idea is to make genuine impact, right? That at the end of the course, probably you now attend maybe the ones for next week, but the core foundations of communication, the core foundation, let me even open it for you so that you can see it. The core foundations of what we've talked about, which is like the overview of communication as a critical soft skill in tech, understanding your audience, active listening, non-verbal communication, building confidence in communication. These things are the core foundations of communication. Now you now get into the advanced level without having a fundamental idea of what communication entails. I don't want you to be a half-baked communicator, right? So because the only reason why I'm not going to tell you to repeat is because you mentioned that StreamYard gave you issues and that is not your fault, right? So when the video is made available, please, I want you to dedicate your time to watch it. I'm still going, in fact,
I
your
will.
week 2 test is going to be questions from week 1. I want to make sure that you watch it. I want to make sure that you learn this thing. Do you understand? Don't feel like I'm being harsh on you or I'm putting you on the spotlight. The truth is that if you don't get value from this thing and you tell somebody that you took a course from the law academy on communication and they eventually put you or you find yourself in a situation where you have to either defend these things that you've learned at the law academy, it's going to look like we don't know what we are doing, but we know what we are doing.
Mm,
Do you understand? So please, thank you very much for at least being honest enough, and I'm so sorry about the loss that made you unavailable in terms of trying to put up clothing for your family members. My sincere apologies for that, right? So sorry about that, my dear. But I mean, this is your future we're talking about, so we can't be soft all the time, right? So thank you very much. I would have to remove you from the stage to add somebody else right now. Okay, I'm trying to round up with those on YouTube so that I know that nobody has to enter the studio again. Christiana, please, are you still streaming from the studio? Right? Are you still streaming from YouTube, rather? Christiana, please, can you confirm to me that you're still streaming from YouTube? I want to ask you everything that you will do so that when you enter into the studio, you just shoot. Because I know that you said, okay, thank you very much for that. So please kindly use the link on WhatsApp to join the studio, right? And present on any topic of your choice. Please, I know that this is going to be this is a virtual class and there are tendencies of people using their book, but there's no need, don't use book. Just this is something that we need to be honest with ourselves to achieve maximum result, right? So I'm seeing that the streams on YouTube are increasing. So if you're streaming through YouTube and you've not written your name or you've not introduced yourself as per telling us your name in the order I said, please do that now so that I can know the persons to call on YouTube. I'm trying to round up with those on YouTube before I can get into the people in the studio. So please, Christiana, since you cannot present from YouTube, kindly join StreamYard and unmute your mic, and I'll be looking at the feedback here to know when you joined so that I can add you to the stage and you can do your presentation, right? Sharon, welcome. I didn't mention you when you joined because I was talking to the lady that just left the stage. Welcome. You were not in yesterday's class and I totally understand the reason why. Christian, I've seen you in the in stream here. Just give me a second. Let me introduce what we are doing to Sharon. Right. So Sharon, welcome. I believe that it was just yesterday's class that you missed, right? And yesterday was a double class. So we had non-verbal communication and building confidence in communication. I know that on day 3, 2, and 1 you were in class. And so today we are having a practical class. And this is not just for Sharon, this is to everybody that just joined. We're having a practical test on topics that we've covered, right? And everybody is going to make a presentation from any topic that is here. But the only time you can make a presentation on a topic that somebody has already chosen is when these 5 topics has been exhausted. For Sharon, who wasn't available in day 4 and day 5 because he took permission, you can choose between day 3, day 2, and day 1 to make your presentation. I hope that is clear, please. So because Christiana has already joined the chat, I'm going to add her to the stage so that she can make her presentation. Christiana, once you unmute yourself, just tell us your topic and go straight to the present. Tell us your name, your topic, and go straight to the presentation. Thank you.
Good evening, coach, and everyone. My name is
Hey.
Christiana Ayejutu, and my topic tonight is confidence in communication, building confidence in communication. So, confidence in communication is actually something that everybody should have because we should be very confident when we are communicating. You can imagine yourself getting up on stage, and then even the way you walk there is showing to your audience that you lack confidence. That will not be a good outing for you. So you need to have the ability to be able to actually know yourself and own yourself. That is, create self awareness, be self aware, and build up your confidence. And there are several tips that you can use to build your confidence. Number one is you can build your confidence by practicing. You can actually stand in front of the mirror and speak to yourself, say words of affirmation, have that I can do it spirit. By the time you look at yourself in the mirror, eyeball to eyeball, you're looking at yourself, chest out, don't slouch your shoulders, be confident and speak out and project yourself very well. We all know the popular saying that if you fail to plan, that means you are planning to fail. So you should be prepared. If you have any engagements, any speaking engagements, whether it's for pitching or a stand up, uh, I'm sorry, a stand up meeting, or you have to present to your team members, you should ensure that you are prepared. 90% of the work is preparation, and the delivery is just 10%. Then you should have the right mindset. Never allow your mind to become the burial ground of your dreams. Ensure you keep hope alive. Know your content, write it down. You cannot afford to say you have something in your head. There's every likelihood that you forget. So there's a particular quote that I've forgotten now, but it says that anything you scribble down is better than what you feel you can actually remember. Then you should record yourself. Record yourself so that you'll be able to understand your voice, the pitching. I don't know whether I'm sounding right this night anyway, but you should be able to know the proper pitch you should use. Not that you go from high to low to auto to tenor and treble. You should maintain the right pitch, the right tone throughout your delivery. Then to help ourselves, we can join public speaking groups. We can volunteer, start from your small group, maybe your group of friends in the church. The church is a good place to stand because people don't really judge you there. And then we should adopt a positive body language. Stand up straight, look at people eyeball to eyeball, but don't stare for too long. Maintain the rule of when you look a bit, you look away for some time. And then we should use proper body gestures. We can start small, like I said, start from a very small group. And by the time you're confident enough, you would go to larger groups. Also, the use of visual aids actually help out because if you are using visual aids, your audience won't look at you most of the time. Their attention will be on your screen, and that will give you time to actually settle into whatever you're doing, and it will boost your confidence. Then you need to be authentic. Don't fake any yeye accents. Permission with the yeye. If you don't have British accents, Biko, leave it out. Speak with your authentic Nigerian. If you are Igbo and you have Igbotic accent, just make sure you try to pronounce the words as clearly as possible. In summary, we all need to be confident when communicating. Thank you for listening. Uh-oh.
Oh my God. Please, can you hear me? Can somebody confirm that they can hear me? Can you hear me now? I just noticed that I was muted. My God, and I've been struggling with my village people to talk since. Okay, 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 guys. Thank you very much for that feedback. I had to mute myself, like when a person is presenting, so that I allow you to fully own the stage and then I don't interfere. So I was saying that, Christiana, please, you can go back to YouTube if you cannot hear me on StreamYard, because I know you particularly complain about not hearing on StreamYard, right? Now, I was saying that, what's it called? Sharon is going to be the one to vet your presentation because he was not in class yesterday, right? Now, I'm trying to look at a situation where you are talking to a total stranger, somebody that doesn't know anything about building confidence in communication. Sharon, please, you were not in class yesterday. That was what we discussed. Now, from her presentation, can you say that from what she said, even though it was 5 minutes, can you say that you grabbed something about building confidence in communication? Then the score is over 5. If you were going to score Christiana, what are you going to give her? Right? So please, over to you, Sharon. As somebody that was not in class yesterday, as a spectator from yesterday's class, tell us what you learned from her presentation and give her a score without fear or favor. But before you start, I need to know that Christiana has joined on YouTube. Christiana, please, if you're on YouTube, put it on the chat box that you're on YouTube, so that I can, so that we don't have to do this thing over again. I need to call somebody else. Christiana, please, if you are on YouTube, kindly confirm that you have successfully connected back to YouTube. I'm still waiting for her feedback. She needs to be she needs to hear what you have to say because it's her presentation, right? And it's very important that she hears what you have to say. Oh, she has not given me a feedback yet. Oh my God. I hope network did not cut her off halfway, because it's very important that she can hear you, right? It's very important that she can hear you. Well, while I'm waiting to get a feedback from Christiana, right? Wait, just give me a second. Let me drop it on YouTube too, so that when she comes, I hope she can see it when she comes. Okay, so now, like I was saying, the reason why what we are doing is very important is this. It's one thing to take a class, and after the class, it becomes one of those classes. You go to an event, you attend an event for hours. At the end of the event, it's one of those events. You can't really say that you took home anything, right? At the end of the classes we take on YouTube, Udemy, um, Coursera, and all of these learning platforms, that you don't actually take home something. And this is not going to be one of those classes. I would ensure that it is not one of those classes, right? So I'm waiting for Christiana to come back to YouTube, right? But then while we are waiting for her, because Sharon, I have to remove you from the stage. You are the one that is going to vet her presentation, right? It has to be you because I guess you are the only one, you and Ebube, we are the only ones that didn't show up in class that I can see here, right? So let's wait for Christiana to come back on YouTube and give me a feedback. While we are waiting for her, because of time, I'm going to call Olajumoke. I hope you were available at the introduction I made. I'm adding you to the stage now so I can hear you. Olajumoke, can you hear me? Okay, I'm seeing that there are two persons on YouTube. So, Christina, please, if you're among the two persons on YouTube, right, kindly comment that you've successfully moved over to YouTube so that Sharon can give a vetting of your presentation. If you are the second person that joined YouTube now that I'm seeing, please kindly comment that you are the one so that I can add Sharon back to make a vetting of your presentation. While we are waiting for that feedback, Olajumoke, please unmute yourself and let me know if you heard the description I made about what we are doing today.
All right. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Yeah, thank you so much for this opportunity. And like I do say, thank you so much for coming up with this topic in the time like this. God bless you, ma'am. So this evening I
Thank you.
would like to talking on active listening.
Sorry, my darling. Hold on. The question is,
All
were you in the call when I described what we are doing today? I need to know that you understand what we are doing today. Do you understand what we are doing today?
yes, I was on the call.
Okay, thank you very much. That's what I want to find out. Then, just a minute. I noticed that somebody else also joined through YouTube. So please, Christiana, if you are the one, kindly comment that you are the one so that Sharon can vet your presentation before Jumoke continues. But if you are not the one, um don't worry, I'll still keep making the announcement when I see an increase in numbers, right? Yes, Olajumoke, please go ahead. But then it's important that I state that once she starts, we cannot vet your presentation until she's done because I wouldn't want to cut her, right? So Jumoke, go ahead, go ahead. Your time has started counting.
All right. I would like to talk on active listening tonight, to talk on that. So, based on what our tutor has taught us so far, I really have a lot
First
of
of all,
things. Like,
Olajumoke, are you using book?
I'm not using Buko.
Okay, I don't know what is flipping in your corner, but my ears are very sharp. Go ahead.
It's my math.
Okay, go
All
ahead.
right. So I said I would like to talk about active listening. So from the little take home that I had on active listening, I understand that active listening involves paying close attention to what someone else is saying, ability to fully engage in a conversation. That's active listening. Not just that you are just there, like, because the person called you and you are just present for being there, and like, God, like, you're not just there for being there sake, but then the ability to decode what the person is trying to pass across, ability to put yourself into that person's shoe and understand what they are trying to tell you. So that is what active listening means to me from my own end. Then from there we talked about the importance of active listening. Then you let us to understand that when we are a good listener, it fosters team collaboration. So that's a situation whereby when you are a good listener, it will help your team to it will help you guys to collaborate well. So it will make the work to run smoothly, being that you guys were able to understand each other. You'll be able to provide a solution whenever there is a problem, because there is in a situation whereby there is no good there is lack of active listening in an organization. So in such organization there is tendency that there might be a problem, but in a situation whereby we're able to understand each other, of course we'll be able to provide solution. There is a problem, I try to table it to you, then we come together to understand it, then we'll be able to come out with solution. So that is that about active listening. Then we also talk about some techniques, that's some elements of active listening. There we talk about giving full attention. That's ability to take away any form of distraction during communication. When somebody is talking to you, the ability to pay a full attention to it by avoiding pressing your phone. Sorry, I have a call. Oh. Hello, can you hear me, ma? Ah,
I
who
can
is
hear you.
calling? Okay, so ability to avoid any form of distraction during communication. Then another technique is ask question. When somebody is trying to talk to you, ability to try to put yourself into that person's shoe by trying to relate to what is really happening in that person's life. So for you to be able to do that, that means you are really paying a close attention to what the person is trying to pass across. And another technique is summarize. At the end of everything, the ability to summarize the whole thing that the speaker is trying to pass across, and you are not being judgmental. Not that okay, somebody is trying to relay something to you and you just shut the person up and be like, okay, it's okay, let me just know. But ability to listening well and try to understand with the person, because with that, what active listening really does is I got to realize that it's not about it's not about talking, but it's about listening, because there's a difference between talking and listening. Hello.
I can hear you.
Yeah, I said there is difference between talking and listening, but ability to decode, to understand, to fully understand what the speaker is really saying. And with that, I got to understand that we have an effective communication. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much. So why is it that it was when you were talking about, first of all, you used 4 minutes 31 seconds, right? 4 minutes
Ah,
31 seconds, 0.6 nanoseconds, right? So well done. You didn't exceed the 5 minutes limit because that thing is also part of your score. Now, why is it that it was when you were talking about avoiding distraction in communication that somebody was calling you? That person was listening to your conversation and decided to call you to be the village people that was sent against you, right? But then, well done. So I'm going to call Ebube. She said this is her first time in the class, meaning she's going to be a better person to tell us if you actually did justice to your presentation. If Ebube was coming across active listening for the first time, can she say that she learned something by listening to you? So Ebube, please, over to you, right? I'm adding you to the stage now. Be the judge. Tell us if you learned something from her and give her a score, because your colleagues are going to be the one to score you. It can't be me. Give her a score, please. I'm taking down the score they are giving everybody so that we will know the people that will feature on best communicator of the week. All right, please, Ebube, over to you. Ebube,
okay.
can you hear me?
Good evening.
Good
Yes, I
evening.
can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes, go
Okay,
ahead.
according to what she said, concerning active listening, I think what I picked out of it was like four solid points. And the first being that there's a difference between listening and just speaking. Then the second is as a listener, active listening entails you being able to decode what the person is telling you or talking to you about. Then also the one of avoiding distractions when you're listening, like putting off your phones and being focused on what you're listening to or what somebody is telling you. Then the last one was being able to summarize at least when maybe out of like a 30 minutes talk, you can be able to summarize something of 10 minutes from it you get. So I think that was what I got from active listening, according to what she said.
Okay, so give her a score.
I'll give her over what?
Over 5. Give her a score over 5. The people trying to join the studio should please join through
Over
YouTube.
4.5.
You give her 4.5 over 5.
I'll give her 4. No.
You said you give her 4.5.
Yes, that's what I
Is
said.
that what you said? Oh, okay, nice.
Yes, yes,
Thank
that's
you
what
very
I said.
much. Okay. Just give me a second. Let me take that down because I have to take it down. So Olajumoke 4.5. So Christiana is back on the call, and I know that Sharon was supposed to be the one to vet her presentation. Sharon, I hope you can remember what she said, though. This one that we have actually listened to somebody else. But then I'm going to add Sharon to the stage now so that he can vet Christiana's presentation. At the end of your vetting, right, she talked on building confidence in communication. So you tell us what you learned. If you are a first timer that have never learned anything about building confidence in communication, of which you are because we're not in class yesterday, right? Tell us what you learned from her presentation and give her a score. Thank you.
Okay,
Where did he go? Uh, Sharon, can you hear me? Please, can somebody else confirm that I'm not the only one who is not hearing Sharon? Can anybody else hear him? Please, can any. No, can you hear Sharon? That's the person that I was supposed to vet. Can you hear him? Not me. Thank you. Not me. Can you hear him? Okay, no, you cannot hear him. Okay, thank you very much. So I have to call somebody else to present because we don't have time. Okay, Sharon is back. Sharon, I guess that should be your network, right?
yes, I think it's my network. I think my network.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Hear me clearly. Okay. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Christina, the presentation was good. I'm trying not to anger anger the gods here because definitely my turn will come. But all in all, it was good. It was. Will I say it was informative. The idea of we using our natural voice in terms of we don't have to make any form of effort to be able to be seen a particular way. It clearly resonated with me because I really don't see any reason why somebody would want to use a particular way of speaking or a particular language just to please a particular set of people. So in that aspect, it was good. There was the idea of even body movement. I think you mentioned something like that. Body movement in terms of trying to instill that confidence. That also resonated with me too. So that was the two things I picked from your presentation. I don't know if is at this particular point I'm supposed to give my score or I'm supposed to say what and what lacked in the
So
presentation.
those are the only things you picked
Yes, yes, that
from
what resonated.
everything Christiana said.
That's what resonated with me.
Okay, that was what resonated with you. Now, we're
Yes.
not talking about what resonated with you here. We're talking about the overall presentation as a first timer, hearing the concept of building confidence in communication for the first time. What would you say, or what would you give Christiana as a score?
I'll give her
Over 5.
2.5 over 5.
Uh, you have to defend that. Why 2.5? What did she lack? Don't be afraid. Nobody's going to beat you. Tell us what would have made it 5 or 4.5. They just gave
Additionally,
somebody 4.5. So why?
I think personally for me, when we're speaking about confidence, or when she was trying to talk about confidence, there was no personal tying to Techie, or to how you'll be able to handle conversations. We talked about when some kind of conversations are going to be involving words, or it could even be involving emotions that basically are hostile or are different from friendly. How do you instill confidence in those conversations? Are you able to handle stakeholders that are basically always on the edge? So I don't know if probably maybe I'm sure you've touched it, or I'm not really sure if I don't really have the whole demo if she's in the techie or non-techie aspect of the whole thing. So that's why I say everything does depends on how everybody perceive or how the information works with you. But for me, I think this particular part is going to be key in discussions about confidence in creating conversation, especially in the tech aspect of the whole thing. Then also there was the idea of how we're going to be able to talk about even the confidence. How do we instill it in the team itself? So let's say you're a leader, or you basically have some set of people under you. How are you able to, from the top, instill the idea of confidence into the whole thing, so that people will be able to, collaborate more effectively, people will be able to talk more effectively. That confidence in their idea, whether good or bad, is going to actually work in a way. So I think that was the two things that me myself I would have loved to be a goal for me if I'm listening to that particular presentation. I would love to know how to do this particular thing. So that's what I felt lacked. But that is my own personal this thing.
Okay, so first of all, I like the fact that you said you don't know if it was covered in the teaching, right? Although we touched on building confidence as a team lead, you have to like try to build confidence in yourself and then extend it down, but we did not stress on it, right? So one thing I need you to understand when scoring people is that they cannot score you based on what you want them, you cannot score them based on what you want to hear. Do you understand? And the reason why I said you should be the one to vet it because you were not in class, right? And you don't have a scheme of what was taught yesterday. Do you understand? However, I think that on a personal note, and I'm saying this based on the fact that from what we taught yesterday and what she shared, if she was not using any form of aid, I think her presentation deserves more than 2.5, right? And the reason why I would say it deserves more than 2.5 is because I'm going to call somebody who was in class to help us vet if 2.5 was okay. And now I need the person to give me reasons why they feel 2.5 was not okay or if it was okay. And so on that note, I'm going to call Sekibo because I know you were in class yesterday. I'm adding you to the stage and you heard Christiana's presentation. Tell us if the 2.5 was okay based on her presentation. But then, since you were in class and you know what was taught, from what she shared, do you think the 2.5 was okay or you think she deserved better? If it was okay, why? If she deserved better, why? Over to you, Sekibo.
Okay, to me, the 2.5, although I did not hear everything from her presentation due to network, but then from the things I heard, I don't think the 2.5 is okay because it was, to me, it was notable that she used, like, she did not do it from her book, obviously, because we are not seeing her, so it's not easy to tell. But from her presentation, it's obvious that she does it from any book because she tried to use the examples that were used in class, the relatable examples when it comes to using. They were not really highlighted as bullet points, like using your natural tone and not trying to include phonetics in it and everything. So I think the 2.5 is quite unfair from the things I heard.
It's unfair, so give her a score.
To me, I think I'll give her 4 or 3.
No, give her a
Three
definite score,
point
nothing
five.
like 4, 3, because
Four, 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 four.
3.5.
No, 4.
Sekibo, are you watching? Are
four,
you watching
4.
film?
No, no, no.
Give her a score.
Okay, 4. Yeah, 4 is the
You will give
balance.
her
4 over
4.
5, right?
Yes, over 5.
Yes,
All right,
4.
thank you very much, Sekibo, for that. Now, I have to say this. Sorry, I added somebody that I'm not supposed to add. Okay, Sharon, we're going to take Sekibo's call because Sekibo was in class, right? And she's the one that actually heard what we taught yesterday. The reason why I needed you to be the one to vet is from a stranger's perspective, right? But then I understand the fact that you had your personal expectations, but then we can't also tell if those expectations were covered in class. Now, from somebody that attended class and actually heard the presentation, right? Based on what we shared yesterday, first of all, I need you to note that this is an introductory class. So the parts of building confidence in teams, those are in-depth types of building confidence. We're looking at building confidence from the surface level, right? So for an introductory class, I would say that Christiana's presentation should actually go with the score that Sekibo gave. Remember, I told us that I personally feel that she did more than 2.5, although I didn't want to say score. But thank you, actually, for being a fair judge. At least you came from a neutral point, right? You came from a point of what can be improved. So I'm going to take your observation as what can be improved in terms of building confidence in communication, but then it's not going to be improved in the free class. Thank you and God bless you. So you can help me mute yourself, Sharon, because I can't mute you from here. So just help me mute yourself. I want to call somebody else before I call you, because definitely you are going to present. I know that I told you that you were in one of or two of our classes. Who have I not called now? Okay, yes, Delight. You are going to be. You have not said anything since this class started. So I need you to choose a topic from the topics that we've covered, right? First of all, I know that you've been in all the classes. You're one person that I have your name at the back of my head. You, Christiana, Olufemi, and a few other persons. You people's names are in my head because I just see you guys always in class, and that's very commendable. Well done to all of you, right? If I didn't mention your name, to Patience too. Yes, I know I see Patience in class. Well done. If I didn't mention your name, Sharon, apart from yesterday that he was not available and he told me he used to come to class too. So well done, guys. It's not easy. And Olajumoke too. Yes, Olajumoke, you're doing a good job. Well done. So what's your name? Delight, I want you to choose a topic and start your presentation. This class was supposed to be for an hour, but because we were having some network congestions, we might extend till 9:30. So we need to run. Delight, unmute yourself, choose a topic, and your time starts once you unmute yourself.
Good evening, everyone. My name is
Good evening.
Delight. Okay, so today I want to talk about understanding your audience. Um, in things I've seen in Nigeria, many these things we are learning today in this course, like in this program, is not only about talking to clients or stakeholders. It can also be applied to giving a speech in public or a public presentation. So understanding your audience is like knowing the kind of people you want to communicate with. You're not just presenting it in a way that you yourself understand, but presenting it in a way that the people you are going to talk to that day understand. If you are a UI UX designer and you want to go and present your design to a stakeholder or to a client, or you want to pitch your idea to someone, you won't go there talking about the ways you did the design, or in a tech manner you have to understand how the person would um understand the concept of UI UX from a non-tech background, or if the person is a tech person, you say it in the way that they will get as a tech person. Now, one point I would like to emphasize on is the aspect of cultural beliefs and religious belief, because a lot of us, when we are presenting things like this, we don't take it to heart. We don't keep it at the back of our mind. We just feel like, yeah, because we are professionals, we don't really have to worry about cultural beliefs or um religious belief. As Nigerians, the way we take things is very from the way Japanese take things, very from the way Americans take things, very from the way British people take things. So understanding your clients, understanding the people you are going to present to is really important in presenting ideas or um in presenting ideas. So let's say you are presenting to a Japanese company or you're presenting to a British company. It's very important to make your research about them, about how to present your topic to them. If it's a company, learn about the company. There are some companies in other countries that you, maybe if it's a physical meeting, you have to have a drink with them, something they can say in a club, or maybe in you can close a project, like a you can close a business in a club. You can't do that in Nigeria. How would you, like, um should I say, how would you tell a CEO that you want to meet him or her in a club or in a restaurant to close a deal? That kind of thing. So it's very important to understand audience and the presence of presenting, like talking or maybe giving a speech. There was one event I attended that the man came on stage, basically climbed stage, said everybody should stand up and we should do like as if we are clapping. And when everybody did it, he turned and took a picture and he said, in case we are going back home, in case he finished his presentation and we don't want to give him a standing ovation, he has gotten one that is going to use as evidence on his page that we gave him a standing ovation, and all of us laughed. Why when he did that, he made all of us really interested in what he has to say. For somebody to start the conversation with us standing in a way as if he wants to give him standing ovation and taking a picture, it made all of us laugh because he knew we were Gen Zs, he knew we were young people, and that's a way of getting our attention. So he tried to start his presentation that way to make us excited and ready for what he has to say before starting his conversation. That he knew his audience, he was ready for us, he knew what to say. There are other people that came before him and they just started, went straight to the point, and many people left or many people were bored. But him, he started this in a way that was going to make us excited for what he has to say. So this can also be applied to professionals. You can set your presentation in a way that your clients will be eager to know more about you. It can be 100% professional and at the same time, you can make it interesting. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Delight. At least you used 4 minutes, 9 seconds, 89 nanoseconds, right? And that's very much right on time. Thank you so much. I like the fact that your presentation had a flow, right? I could connect with it, and I really did just get a few things from you, especially the part when you talked about the event you attended and the presenter, started with an ice breaking activity. They call those things icebreakers, right? So if you go for an event, probably you are the host, you're the one hosting the event, and you notice that, oh, the hall is becoming very quiet or people are becoming bored, you have to introduce icebreakers, right? So what he did is called ice breaking. Now, before I call somebody to vet your presentation, the people on YouTube, I can see that there are 4 persons there. Please, if you have not introduced yourself, introduce yourself in the comment section, right? And if you have not presented, just introduce yourself. I know those that have presented, just introduce yourself in the comment section so that I can tell you when to join StreamYard and make your presentation. So I'm going to call Patience to vet your presentation. Delight, Patience is going to be the one to vet your presentation, and she's going to do that in a minute because we don't have time. I need to call somebody else to present. So Patience, please, if you can hear me and the network is fair to you today, please unmute yourself. Okay, Ife Oluwa, you would have to, Ife Oluwa is not the party guy. How was your party? Welcome. You people should not mind me, I joke a lot. Ife Oluwa, how was your gbedu that day? Your name will not leave my head because you left us to go and do party. So you're going to present. I think you were in the class when you were one of our classes. I don't really think you were in all the classes that we've had, but I know that one or two of our classes I saw you there. So Patience, please, if you can hear me, unmute yourself and vet Delight's presentation in 1 minute, please. Thank you. Patience, can you hear me? She has not even unmuted her mic. I don't know if network is favorable at her end. Okay, so We don't have time. We're not going to wait. When she comes back, she would continue. Or should I even call somebody else to just vet your presentation so we don't waste time? Okay, Christiana. Yeah, was it the light that vetted Christiana's presented? Okay, no, it was Sekibo. So Christiana, please, because I've not gotten a feedback from patients yet, I want you to vet Delight's presentation. What are you going to give Delight? You know, as somebody that was in class, and you heard her presentation. What are you going to give her, please? In 1 minute, please.
Mhm. She tried her best. So I'm going to give her my score too. I'm going to give
What is your
her
score?
I'm going to give her 4.
4. Okay,
Yes.
why are you giving her 4? Why not 4.5? Why not 5?
Uh, well, she talked about the types of audiences and she related it to a scenario, which is fair enough. I'm giving her 4.
Okay, Delight, 4. All right, thank you very much. Mr. Olufemi, you know that I will always call you. So it's your turn. Please unmute yourself and present. You've been on the call, so you already have a hang of what is going on, right? No need to start explaining it to you because I know you've been here. So I'm adding you to the stage now. Unmute yourself, choose a topic from these topics. First of all, they've talked about building confidence in communication. They've talked about active listening. They've talked about understanding your audience. So you have between non-verbal communication and giving us an overview of communication as a critical soft skill in tech. These are the two topics left. The rule is that nobody is going to talk about what somebody has talked about until we've exhausted the topics here. So you have between talking about day 1 and day day 4. Yes, choose between day 1 and day 4. Mr. Olufemi, choose between day 1 and day 4.
All right, ma'am. Thank you. Good evening, everyone, once again. Thank you for the opportunity given to me to speak tonight. I'll be speaking concerning overview of communication as a critical soft skill in tech, which was our opening topic, for this course. So now, one of the reasons why the first day and this teaching was very important to me was that it actually, dealt with one of the most important things that I did not realize before. And it's something that after the class, I had another encounter with a colleague of mine who spoke on something similar concerning that area. You talked about three things that matters to me, and I believe that every one of us actually took something home from there. The first one was about stakeholder communication. It can never leave my memory. Then the second one, you talk about a personal elevator pitch. And then you talk about filler words and thereabout. I think you talk about things like that. So those are the areas that actually touched me. And please forgive me if I'm going to be majoring on that and I'm going to be speaking on that extensively within these few minutes that I have. Now, concerning stakeholder communication, you actually told us or teach us or taught us that rather that we, as a professional, we need to understand our audience. You were preparing us ahead of the next class, which actually talked about understanding our audience. So you said as a professional, we need to understand that communication is one of the very important things that we need. One of the very important soft skills that we need to have as a professional, especially in tech space, because most of tech professionals really believe that they have all it takes when it comes to technical skills. But what really matters is that how do we communicate our technical skills, our technical jargons? I use the word jargon. I should have rather used terms for that. But please permit me in one way or the other. So that how do we relate it to people that does not understand what tech is all about? which actually led us into looking into understanding our audience, where you talked about technical audience, non-technical audience, and mixed audience, whereby we have the non-technical and we have the technical audience, where we have the stakeholder and we have the um, stakeholder and our tech, people that understand us when it comes to tech terms as fellow tech professionals. So now when it comes to looking at the overview of that, you actually uh, talked extensively on what we're going to look at in this program, preparing our art and, waiting our art ahead of the time so that we can be thirsty for what we are going to be learning. So now coming to the stakeholders communication, you were talking about we understanding our audience, that in a situation where we are to have a stand up, or maybe a presentation, or maybe a way that we need to explain how what we have or what we want to do or the problem we want to solve and how we want to solve it is going to help the stakeholder to make profit, because you emphasized on that day that stakeholders doesn't they don't really care about the technical things about about your technical this thing. What they are only concerned about is the profit, the ROI, the return on investments that they are going to have. And you really emphasize on that we should know how to communicate in layman terms, in simple terms, technical terms to our stakeholders, so that they can really understand what we mean and the problem we're about to solve, and how that problem that we're going to solve, or let's say the solution, is going to bring them returns. And you talked about personal elevator pitch, which talked about how we are to introduce ourselves in a networking space, or maybe we have an interview, or maybe we are meeting someone for the first time, or maybe we are in a networking space like maybe Dev Fest, or maybe a technical gathering, and we need to make good and quality network. You said we have to understand how to introduce ourselves, how to make ourselves unforgettable, like how to retain our memory in people's memory, whereby how we introduce ourselves. You emphasize on people knowing who you are within the first 5 minutes you're speaking to them. That is, when you speak within the first 5 minutes, people really can measure your capacity, your intelligence, what you are made of, what you can do. They can actually try to, envisage your potentials, try to know that, oh, this person. And you also said this, that when you meet a startup, I think you talk about a startup, like a founder, right? That when you meet a founder, that within a few minutes, while communicating with the person, you will know, oh, because there is this kind of personality that they exude when you talk to them, and this always boils down to a personal elevator pitch, whereby they know how to present themselves, they know how to communicate their values, they know how to communicate their vision and what they're about confidently. So then you talk about the last one, which actually dealt with me a lot, and I've been working on ever since, which is the filler words. That when we discover that we are someone that always have these filler words in between our communication, that it actually hinders us communicating well. That is, when we are trying to uh, pass across to people some kind of information, we are trying to communicate what we are doing, or what we're about to do, or the problem we're about to solve. If filler words are are more than what we are saying, it actually disrupts everything. It hinders people from understanding us. And you gave 2 to 3 clues about how to overcome filler words. The first one you said was that we should not rush our words when we are speaking to people. That it's actually a sign of fear when you rush your words. That is, you are not confident enough. Then the second one is that don't try to over explain things. That we should know how to summarize words, put words in a very simple time and make it known without going over it again and again and again and again and again. And then the third one you talk about is that um please, I want to quickly remember that there is a third solution you give concerning how to overcome filler words. Um, Please, 1 second. Okay. If I cannot deal with that, I think that will be all for tonight. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Olufemi. You used you used 6 minutes, 10 seconds. 6 minutes, 10 seconds, 13 nanoseconds. Hi, Mr. Olufemi and Professor. What is this? I did not want to cut you. I said anytime you stop, that's when we'll go home today. Anyways, thank you so much. So I won't be the one to vet your presentation, you know. I would call Oriola, our party man, to join us here in the studio. I think there's still space for him to join. So please, Oriola, I know that you can hear me, right? If you can still hear me, please join the studio and vet Mr. Olufemi's presentation. Okay, Oriola, please do that as fast as possible so that I think we still have about 3 persons left to present, including yourself, Mr. Oriola. So if you can join as fast as possible, please join. And when you join, drop it in the StreamYard chat box that you have joined so that I can call you back on stage. We can't be waiting for you, please. So, Mr. Olufemi, just hold on, right? Oriola is going to vet your presentation. But then how do I even know that he's hearing all these things? Oriola, please confirm that you can hear me first before you join StreamYard. Just confirm on YouTube that you can hear me. Because I think I've seen him going off and on. Mm. He has not confirmed though. Can he hear me? Okay, so I don't think I would want to wait for him to be the one to vet, right? So, okay, yes, Olajumoke, I need you to vet Mr. Olufemi's presentation, right? So I'm going to add you to the stage now. Vet Mr. Olufemi's where is Olajumoke? Is she here? I just saw her now. Where did she disappear to? Please, those that are streaming on YouTube, if okay, Oriola just joined. He just joined us on StreamYard. Please, I need to know that you have connected your mic. Okay, yes, you have. So I can add you to the stage. Oriola, please judge Abi vet Mr. Olufemi's presentation. First of all, tell us what you learned and then give him a score. Because it's not just vetting the presentation without learning anything. Tell us what you learned and give him a score, please. One
So,
minute, 1 minute.
all right, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am.
Good
Can you
evening.
hear me, ma'am?
I can hear you, please. Go ahead.
So, yeah, all right, ma'am. So, okay, I can say that is a very great presentation because for me, I was not in the class when the topic was discussed, but I can say I'm super better than someone who might be in the class without paying full attention to everything being said. He actually touched a lot of things, and the same part he said caught his attention is the same part that caught my attention to. That's the use of fuller words. So I learned from his presentation. He explicitly explained the topic, the overview of communication as a critical soft skill in tech. It's very important. It's a skill that every techie need to get. So yeah, my network was doing bad, so I barely could hear, but at least I'm able to learn. I'm able to learn from him. I'm able to learn from him that communication is very essential. It's very essential skill in Tekma. So that's all, man.
Okay, so what are you going to give him? The score is over 5. What will you give him?
Over five, I will give him 4.5, ma'am.
4.5.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much. So, this one that you said you were not in the class today, we taught non overview of communication. Which class were you available for? Which class did you attend?
I was
Let me eh?
I was available for the non-verbal communication from day two to the current day, the day six.
Okay, from we are available from day 2 to day 6.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So thank you very much. I just needed to confirm that. So Mr. Olufemi, well done. Then for Oriola, you also have filler word issues, right? And we've dealt on filler words, how to overcome filler words. The class for the one is going to be uploaded on YouTube. Thank I did not even
Ma?
announce. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma, I can hear you now.
Okay, I said I also noticed that you have filler words issue, right? So you have to watch the class for day one. Our editor is back on his feet, and we give God all the glory. So by the grace of God, between now and Wednesday, all the classes should be uploaded. That's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I mean, day one, day two, day three, and day four.
All
Hopefully, it
right,
should be uploaded on YouTube. You have to watch it and learn how to overcome filler words, right? Because when Mr. Olufemi started in day one, he actually had a lot of filler words issues, right? But gradually he's overcoming them, right? Although I noticed that probably because today is an impromptu presentation, he somehow tried to use it to connect his thoughts, which is a bit excusable, but then it can be better, right? So well done, guys. Thank you so very much to Mr. Olufemi, and thank you, Oriola, for your vetting. Who have I not called? I know that there are people here that have not presented. Okay, yes, Sekibo, you have to present now. So unmute yourself and present, please. Let me add you to this. Is Sekibo still here? Yes, I can see you are still here. So present, please. Let me check the
Yes.
topics. That the only topic that is remaining is non-verbal communication. And you were in class yesterday. So there's no excuse.
Yes.
That's the topic you will talk about.
Okay,
Five
so I can
minutes,
go
please.
right.
5 minutes so that another person can listen. Oh yeah, go ahead. Your time has started ticking.
Okay, so communication, as the name implies, it's body language, hand gestures, facial tone, and this non-verbal communication is an aspect of communication that's how to like it supports verbal communication. Facial expression can influence um our communication with other persons, in the sense that if someone is talking to you and you're slouching, or your facial expression is giving unconcerned and everything, it could hinder the way the person wants to communicate with you, and vice versa. If you're speaking to someone and then the person is maybe operating the person's phone, you will in turn feel communication is a very important aspect of communication, because it influences how one perceives you and how you perceive another person. So non-verbal communication can help in building relationship, because if you're speaking to someone, probably your colleague, and the person is always acting interested, definitely you want to communicate more with the person. If you people have a project to carry out, you definitely want to communicate more with the person. If the person gives you
I cannot hear you, Sekibo. Am I the only one that
positive
cannot hear her? Please,
response
somebody should confirm that I'm not the
non-verbally,
only one that cannot hear
what
her.
else? Okay, then wow.
Sekibo, can you hear me? Please, can somebody confirm that I am not the only one that cannot hear her?
Yes, I can hear you
So we lost you at some
loud and
point.
clear.
I stopped hearing you at some point.
Can you hear me, ma?
I can hear you now. It was breaking at some point. I couldn't hear you.
Okay,
So I stopped your time because
okay,
I know that network can be funny. So you
okay.
can You can
Can you remember the
continue.
exact point?
The exact point you said. Hello, Sekibo, can you hear me?
Okay, so I was saying non-verbal communication. Can you hear me, ma?
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead. Go ahead, please.
Okay, so I was saying non-verbal communication can influence the way someone perceives you and how you in turn perceive another person when it comes to your coworkers. Because if you're communicating with somebody and probably the person is always looking aggressive or operating the person's phone, acting uninterested in sitting posture, hand gesture, and everything, it will influence your relationship with that person. It will influence your work ethics, your work life generally with that person. Probably if you're given an assignment to carry out with your coworker, and whenever you go to meet the person is always acting uninterested, you would not want to carry out tasks with that person. Um, I think we're talking about non-verbal communication in presentation. When you are presenting, try to maintain eye contact with the persons you're talking to. If the room is a large room, you can, okay, in your head, say you segment how you maintain eye contact. When you start, you can look at the left side for the first 5 minutes, look at the right side to foster to foster connection during communication. You can use hand gestures, and when presenting, your non-verbal, your body posture, your gestures can also signify if you're confident, if you are nervous. So we should manage our body language. Yes, we should manage our gestures. We should not like fret and everything. To an extent, we should try to be bold. Yes, that's it.
Okay, so before I call somebody to vet your presentation, it is not to an extent we should try to be bold. You must try to be bold. There is no to an extent. Do you understand? That's just the correction I want to make.
Okay,
There is no to
noted.
an extent in this thing. You must be bold. It's a do or die affair. Do you get? So, um,
Yes, man.
Olajumoke, I don't think you've vetted anybody's presentation. I don't think. So, Olajumoke, please unmute yourself. Tell us what you learned from her presentation and give her a score. Then, before she does that, you used 4 minutes, 40 seconds, 0.8 nanoseconds, right? So that's okay. You stayed within the timeline of 5 minutes. So, Olajumoke, please unmute yourself. Tell us what you learned from her presentation and give her a score. Please, quick, quick, quick. Olajumoke, can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can hear you. Hello?
Yes, unmute yourself. Give her a score. Tell us what you learned and give her a score, please.
All right. From what Sekibo just said now, it just gave us the full insight that we were taught yesterday about non-verbal communication. So he made mention of different gestures that people used to display when having a communication with them. So which will tell us probably they are with us or they are against us. So from what she said, assuming that I'm not even in class, I've already decoded everything that she just said now. And with that effect, I'm giving her, I want to give her. She really tried though, but
Oh my God. Go give
I
her
want
what now?
okay.
Look at this woman.
Yeah, I want to give her 4.5 because she really tried. Yeah, she really tried.
What did you give her? I didn't hear it.
4.5.
Okay, 4.5. Seki, buckler for yourself. This girl really likes you. just just know that you are liked. Hey God, thank God it's not me that is betting this thing. But then from a woman to a woman, they gave you 4.5. Yeah, yeah. Manage your take your 4.5 with good faith. Christiana, you said you didn't hear your time. Yes, I mentioned your time before you left the call. I think you used 4 minutes, 30 seconds, and some nanoseconds. I was saying it, but I think you are on transit to YouTube, right? So I said it. You kept to time, yes. The only professor in our midst that has not kept to time is Mr. Olufemi. Mr. Olufemi wants to teach us a full class in presentation, but then that shows the depth of how much he understood what we thought, right? So who has not presented? Sharon, you've not presented. I know that the only class you missed was yesterday. So, and then they've exhausted the topics that are here, right? You can't speak on building confidence in communication because you were not available. You can also speak on non-verbal communication, so you can speak on day 1, day 2, day 3, right? But we need to hear something fresh, different from what they've said. So Sharon, if you can hear me, you have 5 minutes. Sharon, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Ha-
Can you hear me?
Sharon, I know that you've unmuted your mic, but I cannot hear a thing. Can you hear me?
I'm hearing you clearly. How about you? Are you hearing me?
Yes, I can hear
Eh,
you now. Go ahead, please.
Am I clear enough?
Yes, you are clear enough, sir.
Okay, so I'll choose day one, which is the overview of communication as a critical soft skill in tech. So naturally,
Okay.
since it's an overview, it's I will try as much as possible to not to use what another person has already said, because everything the person said is almost akin to what I would have said, but I will try my best to be different. So
Mm.
as we already know, most times or in most situations, we usually have to communicate either through written communication, verbal communication, or sometimes we mix the both of them to be able to use it in our day-to-day running as tech professionals or even non-techies. So one thing, as you said when we were discussing, was that this is one of the biggest gap that is existent in the tech ecosystem. This is because yes, people communicate, people try to talk to each other, but there is no clear way to be able to achieve, the set of goals or a particular type of conversation that has results. It's not just you just talking, it has results. So you stressed on
I can't hear you again, no. I stressed on what, please? Is it his network? Oh my god. This network thing has to be resolved though. Eh? We need to start complaining to network providers that we are competing on a global scale. We can't be using bad network. What is this now? Yeah, is it network? I presume so. And he's presenting. I don't want to call somebody else.
are you hearing me
But
now?
you might call. Yes, yes, go ahead. You said where we stopped hearing you was I stressed on. Continue, please.
You stressed on having strong communication skills as a way of empowering us. That is, tech professionals, we are supposed to have sets of communication skills that help us to, in as much as we want to excel in our roles, we should be able to also, have this kind of drive in terms of team, in terms of innovation, in terms of clarity, in terms of the idea of excellence. It should be there, because without those particular amount of skills, there's no way we'll be able to, have that side of tech that does not really, that the people don't really talk about, people don't really try to build upon. So you stressed on those particular communication skills. Then you also went forward to give us strategies, actually strategies that will be able to, have those communication skills, those strong communication skills. Like my fellow.
His network has gone away again. Like your fellow what? Your fellow lecturer. Because they're
Yeah,
looking like you will lecture us like this now.
no, definitely not. So my fellow contributor stressed on the idea of filler word. Filler word he that was also one of the actionable strategies that you gave to be able to move or to be able to have strong communication skills. You also touched on the evolving tech industry and how the idea of information, the idea of communication is different for each and every person. You also stress the fact that in as much as every single thing is tailored to techies, most of the strategies that you're going to give us can also work both in tech and non-tech environment too. So that was one of the things that you mentioned, and you discussed on how we're going to be able to apply those strategies too in those sectors. I'll end with the idea of using communication skills or using communication as a way of sharing idea, conveying a level of importance to particular things. Let's say you are trying to make sure that a particular person, either it be a lead or someone that is behind you, is basically acting as a barrier to a project being completed. Communication, effective communication, can be used to drive action.
Are you done? Ah, oh, wow. Um, I don't know, but I think he's done. Sharon, are you
Um,
done, please?
yes,
Eh?
I'm done.
Okay, so to be honest, right, I cannot give an accurate time vetting that you used because of the backlog we had with the network and the times we had to wait for you. But then from my stopwatch, it's showing you used 5 minutes, 13 seconds, 48 nanoseconds. I'm very sure that it was not going to be up to that, right? So let's give or take. We used 1 minute to wait for your network to refresh. So if I'm going to give an estimate, you used between 4 minutes, 13 seconds, 48 nanoseconds. That's an estimate though, considering or putting into consideration the network issues. Now I'm going to call Mr. Olufemi to be the one to vet your presentation because you guys talked on the same thing. So from somebody that shared, Mr. Olufemi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear
you should
you, ma'am.
you should be your deputy. Okay, you said somebody that shared the same topic with you, right? If you were hearing this topic for the first time, you already have a good hang of the topic. So I will just ask you to give him a score because you both talked about the same thing. So I wouldn't want to ask you what you learned. That's why I said you should just give a score, right? Just give him a score so that we can save time.
Okay, yes, ma'am. Thank you. He actually tried and he had brought the topic in a new way and much more better. So I'll give him 4/5. 5/5, ma'am. 4/5.
4/5.
Yes.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. Sharon, I hope that sits well with you. Your network did not allow us to enjoy your presentation, but then you brought a new insight to it. I like the fact that you were tailoring it towards tech professionals mainly, right? And that pretty much captures most of what we talked about because in as much as we're not trying to tie it around tech professionals. The whole idea of this course is centered around tech professionals, and you did a good job with that, right? So, who has not presented? Patience, please. I need you to present, but I don't know if your network is stable. You have 5 minutes, please. We've already stretched this class. I think it's just Patience and Oriola that are remaining, right? So Patience, I'm adding you to the stage now. You have 5 minutes, give or take. We should leave this class before 10 o'clock, right? So Patience, please unmute yourself and speak. Patience, can you hear me? So I really don't know what network you're using, but I would recommend that you have two or three networks, right? That you use. That's what I have, all the networks, in fact, all of them. The only thing I've not added to this network is Starlink. Although I use Starlink in the office, but at home I have all the networks because this thing is very embarrassing, to be honest. So all no, not Olaju, Oriola, yes, the only class you missed was day one, and then they've talked about virtually everything. So you choose a topic and talk about it, but you have 5 minutes, please. Oriola, can you hear me?
Yes, ma, I can hear you, ma'am.
Oriola, please
Hello,
confirm
ma'am.
that you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you, ma'am.
Are you also having network issue? We have just two persons left,
I
and
can
I really
I can hear you, ma'am. I can.
okay. All right, so tell us your name and go straight to your presentation, please. You have 5 minutes.
All right, ma'am. Good evening, great minds. Ifeoluwa Israel Oriola, and I will be speaking on active listening. Active listening. Though it has once been summarized by one of the presenters, but let's see if we can bring it up in a new and more improved way. So we say active listening. Generally, everybody listens, but only few people actually listen attentively. Only few people listen actively. And for a tech professional who wants to excel, or professionals generally who wants to excel in their field, active listening is a very important skill everyone should possess for communication to be effective, for the trust to be no more built. When the speaker is speaking and you're able to interact with the speaker will develop more trust in you, having seen that okay, you listen, you pay attention to details. So active listening, it is more than just hearing. Yes, everybody here, when you are speaking with people, they, yes, I can hear you, I can hear you, but tell them. That's why most times teachers, they will say, what did I say last, just to make sure to know if they truly understand what they have said. So active listening, it is the ability of someone to fully engage, the person engage with what is being spoken by a speaker, and then active listening, we say, you said that active listening, yeah, like I said, there is full attention is given to the speaker. Full attention is given to the speaker. Now, why active listening? Everybody listens generally, but why? Like I said, active listening, there will be this kind of a trust. Yes, a trust person can, yes, I'm sure this person should be able to do this from just interaction the person is giving. Interaction the person is giving. And then active listening also, it will reduce misunderstanding and reduce the what do you say, what do you say, sorry, I did not get what you say, sorry this, sorry that. So that will just affect active listening. And someone who doesn't listen actively will be counted as an unserious person. When someone is speaking and before anything you are, sorry, I did not hear what you said the other time, sorry. Or someone just asks you, do you understand? And you're like, I understand. Okay, now what's your view about this? And you have nothing else to say. That would have revealed to that person that you are not listening actively. Now, a common case of not listening actively is when someone is speaking and you are maybe on the phone, you are doing something else on the phone. There will be a divided attention. When the attention is divided, we can't say the listener is listening actively. So active listening, how do we say we are listening actively? One, the focus will be on the speaker. Our main focus will be on the speaker and just on the speaker. Not that someone is speaking, you are trying to, get some things. You are trying to. There will be a division of the attention that will prevent, gaining full understanding of what is being said, and then what else have I not thought? Yes, somebody who listens actively won't just interfere, cut in on the speaker. Yeah, cut in on the speaker. Someone who listens actively will not just cut in on the speaker to ask, and no, 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 to just avoid suspending. Suspend arguments, and then the person will be able to show empathy when empathy is needed. The person will be able to clarify what is being said at the point of where clarification is needed. The person will be able to review what is being said when he is asked to do so. So that's just my own view on active listening, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much. Well done. You used 4 minutes, 48 seconds, 13 nanoseconds. Thank you very much for that. So I'm going to call Ebube to give you a score, right? I'm supposed to ask her what she learned, but we are trying so much to not exceed the time. So Ebube, if you can use 1 minute and tell us what you learned and give him a score, that would be very great. Please, because most of the topics they are talking about, you were not in class. So I need you to, from a first timer's perspective, tell us what you learned and give him a score. Thank you. Ebube, please, can you go ahead?
Okay, sorry. From what he said, although I graded the other person that talked on active listening, but I think the other point he mentioned from active listening the was the fact that someone that listens attentively will not just interrupt somebody when he or she is speaking, that the person will like wait to when you are done speaking. Then if there is something to bring up, the person will bring it up later, not when you are speaking to distract you or to reduce your attention. Then the other thing he mentioned was that um someone that listens also should have emotional um should have empathy. Then I think those are the two extra things I gained from what he said. So
Okay, so give him a
I
score.
will grade him 4/5.
4
4.
over 5. Okay.
Yes.
Because he added two extra things that the other person did not add, you're giving him 4. Okay. So if you are giving him 4 because he added two extra things that the other person did not add, does it mean that he added two extra things plus what the person added, or he added two new things and gave you a
No.
different perspective?
But he added two new things and gave me a different perspective. Sorry.
All right, no problems. Thank you very
Did you
much
hear me?
for that. Yes, I heard you. I said thank you. I heard you. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Okay, Oriola, well done. At least you did well, even though at some point network was disturbing you. But then,
Oh,
at least from somebody that was not in class, she could take two new things from the presentation and add to the one that she already has, which is a good job on your side. You actually said you were going to pick it from a different perspective, and somebody could confirm that you did. Well done. So the only person
thank
that
you.
has not, you're welcome. The only person that has not presented is Patience. Please, Patience. You have 5 minutes,
Okay,
right?
can
And
you
I
hear
hope this
me?
time around your network is good. Yes, I can hear you, please.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I've been hearing you. I can hear you. If that's what you want to type, I'm typing it back for you. I
Okay,
can hear
okay.
you.
All
I
right.
can hear
So,
you.
what topic exactly can what topic exactly are we looking at, please?
So you can choose any topic because they've covered all the topics. And I'm sure you were
Okay.
in class yesterday, right? Because I remember that you were the only
I
one
was in
that turned
class
on your camera
yesterday, but
yesterday. Yes, I know you were in
yes,
class. So
but it's
please,
like I missed the
just
first
choose a
part
topic.
of yesterday's class.
Okay, you missed
Okay.
non-verbal communication.
Yes, I missed that part.
Okay,
I
so
didn't get them very well.
choose a
I
topic.
was off and
Okay, it's
on
fine, it's
the
fine.
class.
It's fine. Choose a topic from what is
Mm,
available. You have 5 minutes, please.
okay. Okay, let me go with the first. Let me go with the first topic
No, two persons have already talked about that first
we
one. You can't
treated.
go with it again. Two persons have
Okay,
already talked
okay, the
about
second topic.
overview of
Okay,
communication.
what's the second
The
topic,
second
please?
topic is understanding your audience.
Okay. Let me talk on that then. Let me talk on that. So it's about communicating, especially for those of us who are in the tech industry, whether we are intermediate level or beginners level in tech, right? So how can we communicate now with those who are non-technical stakeholders? Because I remember that very class detailed more on people who don't really know much about tech. Most of the usual tech jargons like API, just like you mentioned, the CSS, JavaScript, and the rest. If we use them on these people, they will not really grasp anything from what we are saying. And at the end of the day, we have not communicated. That is a problem on its own. And this problem can lead to misunderstanding and ultimately poor decision making, which will not really go well for any brand, especially if we have the intent of meeting an investor. And just like what Marigo told us, trying to craft our personal elevator pitch, before then, is really going to be a problem if we cannot explain to them or communicate with them properly since they are not so tech savvy like us. So it is important for us to use effective technical communication when addressing people like this because it builds trust and credibility. It is easy for them to understand, and what people understand to be easy for them to want to invest in or, if possible, purchase. Because when we talk about stakeholders, not only investors, we are also talking about customers as well as the media. Of course, we do advertise what we do. So it will help us to reduce the risks of miscommunication as time goes by. So, what tips can we use practically to communicate technical information to this non technical audience or stakeholders of ours? Well, I would say we should use simple, clear language. We should remember that they are not the ones coming to class with us to learn how to use all those technical jargons or complex concepts that we often say. We should use visual aids, diagrams, charts. You recommended that we use slides when talking to them. So their focus will be on what we are saying and not necessarily on us, our appearance, or any other thing that could distract them. We can also use analogies and metaphors to explain complex terms when pitching ourselves to an investor or a would-be investor. Let me explain this in layman's terms, please. When we talk about using analogies and metaphors, analogies normally we are talking about comparing two things that are not exactly alike, but they share some similarities. For example, you are approaching an investor and you can tell him that something like our new software that we are building is like a library. Just as a library helps you find and organize books, our software likewise helps you find and organize your data. Or you can use metaphor like I mentioned. Something like when somebody tells you you have a heart of stone or you have a heart of gold, you can use that metaphor to explain that you have a heart of stone or you have a heart of gold. So using analogies and metaphors helps us to explain complex terms when talking to people who are not technical. So you have a heart of stone, you have a heart of gold. like
I think our network has started
stone.
again. Let me pause our time first. I think our network has started again.
Of course,
Yeah, I noticed, Christiana, I noticed that her network is breaking. There's a very strong glitch in her communication
we
from
know
her
that
end.
a
And
stone cannot, bleed like the heart.
her network is really disturbing. And her presentation was actually going well, right? But then her network is really disturbing, and we've already exhausted a lot of time. Not like exhausted, we've invested a lot of time, right? Because we've all learned from ourselves, we've all graded ourselves, and it's been a beautiful learning experience for all of us, even for the persons who were not in class. I'm happy that your classmates could teach you something, and you could learn Patience, you said you're back. Welcome. Right? I just saw in the chat that you're back. So you have 1 minute left, please, so that we can round up. I wouldn't want to.
Communication today. All right, let me round up then. So,
Yeah,
to
you have
improve our
1 minute,
technical
please.
communication skills with non tech users, we should take few minutes to review our communication style and identify areas where we need to improve. Then we should practice using simple, clear language and avoid any technical jargons. Use it only for your fellow techies. Then, most importantly, it's important that we remember effective communication is not about just conveying information, it's not just about talking, but also about building trust and credibility with our stakeholders. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Well done, Patience, right? Well done. So I'm going to call Sharon to vet your presentation,
And sorry
right?
for
So
the
Sharon,
internet and wahala. I
it's not your
actually
fault,
use
really.
four different network providers.
It's not your
I've
fault. It
tried
happens
all
to all
four and
of
they kept
us.
messing me up.
It happens to all of us, right? It's just crazy. Sorry about that. And it's really annoying because I have to be very honest. When your network was stable, your presentation was really going well, and I did enjoy the fact. It's like you're a teacher before, because you're not sounding like somebody that is not a teacher. So Sharon, please, give her a score, right? I think you were in this class. You were in the class, right? Sharon, you were in this class.
Yes.
Okay,
Are
so
you
you already know. I can hear you, Sharon. Go ahead.
um she did very, very well. There was clarity in everything she said. Apart from when there was this network glitch. But overall, I think almost everybody here will understand what she was trying to convey from point from time to time or time to time. So it's 4/5. That would be my score.
4/5.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much, Sharon. So patience, well, I think you would have had more than 4/5, to be honest, if your network was stable, right? Because one thing with presenting is that it has to make sense at the end of it all, right? However, you did well. Just take it that it's network from your village that did not allow you to have more than that. But 4/5 is not bad. So well done, guys. Well done. Thank you, everybody. Listen, I hope people are not angry with me or Ebube, because it was you I first and rush. Ebube, I'm so sorry if you feel bad. The whole idea of this, what we do, is to ensure that professionals have a holistic experience, right? And we don't want to just give you certificate because that certificate means that we have vetted you. It means that you passed through a process and then you are market ready, right? So just take it that all our actions are coming from a place of love. And to everybody who had the courage to present, I am so proud of you all. And that was why I didn't tell us yesterday that we were going to do a test today, right? So I don't think anybody had less than 4, meaning that all of you are going to be featured on our top communicators for the week post. Please, if you want to be tagged, just send me your picture this night so that I can forward it. Okay, just send it to the group. Rather, the designer is going to pick it from there, right? Just send it to the group. The designer is going to pick it from there. All of you that presented, you people deserve to be featured on our top communicators for the week post, because, and I think I'm going to repost that particular one on my personal LinkedIn page. I've not really posted anything lately. I've been so busy. But then the whole idea of doing things like this is to keep us ready, because we don't know when it's going to happen, right? Presentation, impromptu presentations, they come like a thief in the night. They come and then you have to be ready. So that was one of the reasons why I didn't announce it. And if you check through the announcements on WhatsApp, I made sure that I told my team members not to add that we are doing presentation today, because we need to stretch you all, right? We need to stretch you. And just to let you know that we're going to also have another presentation. I'm not going to tell us when, but we're going to have like we need to do a scenario. We need to like do role playing in one of our classes. So come prepared. I'm not going to tell us what class it is, right? So come prepared. We're going to do role playing in one of our classes. We're going to do another present 2 other presentations. You're going to do a personal presentation before you graduate, right? That should be on the last one. I have to tell you, it's going to be on the last day. The last day of your class is the 13th day, right? So you can start counting from now till day 13. Day 14 is your graduation, where we officially give you your certificate and conduct a graduation ceremony for you, where we can also tell you, you know, some of the soft skills you need to read up on, the ones that you need to, you know, invest money on if you want to advance yourself. You might not do it with us, but then they are necessary that you have those soft skills, right? So to everybody that participated today, you all did well. Now let me even check the top scorer for today. So I think the top scorer for today is Olajumoke. She's the okay, Olajumoke and Sekibo. They were the persons that had 4.5, right? Well done, guys. It didn't come from me, it came from your peers. So if your peers felt like you deserved that score, then truly, truly, you did deserve the score. Okay, one thing I like to say is live ready, live ready. Life is fast, anything can happen at any time, right? So always need to, right, go through your materials as much as you need to. Go through your the courses. Once we upload them, watch them over again, personalize it, internalize these things, and make sure that it becomes a part of you. All right, so because we have already spent 2 hours 3 minutes on this call, I said 1 hour, but we've done 2 hours 3 minutes, and that's because, you know, I enjoyed listening to each and every one of you, and I'm sure you all enjoyed listening to yourselves. So with no further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of today's class. I'm going to see you in class tomorrow, and do not forget that the what is the score, please? Yours. Oh, you didn't even hear your score. Oh my god, this network is embarrassing. So you got 4, right? You got 4, and that's because of the network. I'm so sorry, patience. Like, I feel your pain, to be honest. It's very annoying to, you know, be so invested in a process and then things, factors beyond your control, and not even letting you be active. But then I think I like your resilience, because this network issue over at your end is not just today, it's been consistent. But then through it all, you keep pushing through, you keep trying to join in, no matter how little, and all of that. So well done, right? Well done, dear. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll have to end today's class. Thank you very much, everybody for joining in. Thank you to everybody who participated. Ebube, thank you so much. Even if you are just coming for the first class today, right? At least you were able to say something. It can get better. It only gets better from here, all right? So, good night, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm going to see you in tomorrow's class. Bye bye.